You didn't make lunch today? What the hell is going on? Jared's voice erupted through the phone, his tone sharp with frustration. He was upset, not just because I hadn't prepared his meal, but because I wasn't at home. I told you to manage on your own while I was away, I responded, keeping my voice steady. But you're a housewife, aren't you? He shot back, incredulous. How can you just ignore your responsibilities, skipping your duties now? I couldn't believe he was making such a fuss over missing one lunch. Was this really the kind of man I married? I was exhausted from handling everything on my own, yet I was still the one getting blamed. As I ended the call, I noticed my mother-in-law standing beside me, a small knowing smile on her face. She had overheard everything. My name is Melody. I live with my husband Jared and our twin boys, Sean and Eric, who are 2 years old. They are my greatest joy, and being their mother is the most fulfilling part of my life. Jared, my husband, comes from a family that runs a traditional Japanese confectionery store. His parents have been running the shop for years, tucked away in a quiet shopping arcade. After we got married, I left my job and began helping out at the store. At first, I thought it would be simple, but the work quickly proved to be overwhelming. Between serving customers and making sweets in the back kitchen, my days were packed. Early mornings were spent preparing wagashi, especially during the busiest times of the year. Even after our twins were born, I continued working. Some days, I stood in the store with a baby strapped to my back, trying to calm their cries while serving customers. Despite the challenges, I pushed through. Jared, on the other hand, was completely uninterested in the family business. "Are you ever going to take over the confectionery shop?" I'd asked him one day, hoping for a different answer. "Melody, I've told you so many times. I'm not interested." His voice was dismissive. "Wagashi is old-fashioned. Fewer people are coming to the arcade every year. If I take over, I'll have no future." I sighed. I understood that he worked a corporate job and couldn't step in right away, but his total lack of care hurt me. I loved the shop and didn't want to see it fade away. Meanwhile, Jared had no problem indulging in his own hobbies. "Are you heading to the slot machines again today?" I asked one weekend as he grabbed his coat. "Of course. Why wouldn't I?" he answered casually. "It's my day off. I can do what I want." That was how it always was. While he spent his weekends gambling, I was left to manage everything: housework, childcare, the confectionery, cooking, cleaning, laundry, raising our children. It was all on me. Jared barely lifted a finger. Thankfully, my in-laws were incredibly supportive. "Melody, we're so grateful for everything you do at the shop." "Thank you," my mother-in-law often said with a kind smile. Unlike the typical harsh mother-in-law, she was warm and understanding. She even helped with the twins while I worked, making things a little easier. But she, too, felt the weight of Jared's disinterest. "I really wish you would help with the shop," she admitted one evening. "It's sad to see him so detached from it." "I've talked to him about it," I told her, "but he won't budge." She sighed, then gave me a reassuring smile. "Well, at least we have you, Melody. You've been such a blessing to us." Her words comforted me, and over time my bond with her deepened. Ironically, as my relationship with Jared became more strained, my connection with my in-laws grew stronger. Life moved in a blur. Taking care of 2 toddlers meant my days were non-stop, and as the year-end approached, the confectionery got even busier. The holiday season brought a flood of orders for wagashi gift sets. After discussing it with my in-laws, I decided to stay at their house for a night to help with the workload. When I told Jared, he was furious. "What? You're taking the kids and staying at my parents' house?" His voice was filled with disbelief. "It's just for one night. The store needs extra hands." "What about the housework?" he demanded. I exhaled, unsurprised by his reaction. "Jared, it's one day. You won't even have laundry to do. Just fix yourself something simple to eat if you're hungry." But he kept complaining. "You're still a housewife, aren't you? And I'm the one earning the money. Who do you think is responsible for feeding our children?" His words stung, but I had no energy left to argue. Instead, I packed up the kids and left without waiting for his approval. When I arrived at my in-laws' house, the sheer amount of work waiting for me made my decision feel justified. Orders were flooding in, and we had to prepare gift sets at an exhausting pace. Even assembling the empty boxes was a challenge, with hundreds needing to be folded and packed. The next morning, I was up at dawn, ready to dive back into wagashi making for yet another hectic day. I went to bed early that night, knowing the next day would be hectic. By the time dawn broke, I was already in the kitchen, quietly working while my children were still fast asleep. The crisp December air seeped into the house as my in-laws, and I diligently prepared wagashi, the aroma of sweet confections filling the space. When the kids woke up, we took a short break for breakfast. I quickly prepared their meal, and as soon as I placed it on the table, they came running over, grinning from ear to ear. My in-laws and I gathered around, ready to eat together. Just then my phone rang. It was Jared. "What the hell is going on? You didn't make my lunch today." He barked the moment I answered. His voice was sharp with irritation, as if I had committed some unforgivable crime by not preparing his meal. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my composure. "I told you to take care of your own meals while I was gone. Did you forget?" Instead of acknowledging what I said, he scoffed. "Avoiding housework now, are you? What, are you just being lazy?" I was speechless. The audacity of this man. He expected me to handle everything, and the one time I wasn't there, he acted as if the world had ended. His voice was so loud my in-laws could hear every word. Their expressions mirrored my own disbelief. After ranting some more, Jared hung up abruptly, leaving behind an uncomfortable silence. The tension in the room lingered. Even the children sensed it. They hesitated before touching their food. My mother-in-law, ever the gentle soul, clapped her hands together and said with a bright smile, "Come on, let's eat." She turned to me and completely unexpectedly said, "Melody, why did you just divorce my son?" I froze, my hand hovering over my tea. I hadn't expected that, especially not from her. Across the table, my father-in-law remained quiet, his face unreadable. Sensing my shock, my mother-in-law continued, "Perhaps I was too forward, but now that he's spoken to you like that, I hope you see things more clearly." She smiled at me, a knowing look in her eyes. "You don't have to be merciful to him anymore. Think about yourself and your children." She had always been supportive of me, but now I realized just how much she understood my situation. My father-in-law didn't say much, but he gave a firm nod, silently backing up his wife's words. Their presence gave me strength, and at that moment I made up my mind. I was going to leave Jared. That evening I waited for him to come home. When he finally walked through the door, his expression was tight with frustration. He was still upset over something as petty as missing a lunchbox. "We need to talk," I said firmly. He narrowed his eyes. "About what?" "Just sit down." Reluctantly he did. His face darkened, clearly expecting an argument, but he wasn't prepared for what I was about to do. I pulled out a set of papers and placed them in front of him. "I'm divorcing you." The word divorce landed like a slap. His scowl instantly morphed into shock. "What? Divorce? Are you serious? The kids are still young," he stammered, trying to dismiss it like some ridiculous joke. I wasn't joking. Without a word, I reached into an envelope and pulled out a stack of photographs, spreading them across the table. "You told me you spend your days off at the slot machines, right? Then explain these." The color drained from his face as he stared at the pictures of him walking hand in hand with another woman. "No, wait, listen to me," he started, grasping at excuses. "She's just an acquaintance." I let out a cold laugh. "A junior employee from your company, isn't she?" His mouth snapped shut. He was caught. I had been suspicious of him for a while. After talking to my mother-in-law, she suggested hiring a detective, and the results were worse than I expected. Jared had been taking his acquaintance to the slot parlor, then straight to her house. I pushed another set of photos toward him. "These are just a few. There are plenty more. Want to see?" Cornered by undeniable proof, his facade crumbled. "I'm sorry, Melody," he blurted out, panic in his voice. "I wasn't serious about her. It was just a mistake. I swear I'll break things off immediately. Please, don't divorce me." He was begging now, completely losing the arrogant attitude he always carried. But I had already made my decision. "You don't get to beg now," I said coldly. "I've been doing everything, raising our children, helping at your parents' shop, handling all the housework while you lived without a care. I've already told your parents everything." His head snapped up, eyes wide with fear. "You told my parents?" I nodded. "And they're on my side. They've offered to support me however they can. They're furious with you, of course. I told them we're getting a divorce. Jared completely broke down. Please, Melody, I'll change. I'll do anything. He was crying now, his voice desperate. But it was too late. You'll pay alimony and child support. That's all there is to it, I said firmly, leaving no room for argument. In the end, I made sure both he and his mistress paid for what they did. Jared lost his job, and the woman was fired from the company as well. My in-laws, disgusted by his actions, cut him off entirely. With no support, he was forced into manual labor just to survive. As for me, I continued working at the Wavishi shop, where my in-laws welcomed me with open arms. They wanted me to take over the store when they retired, along with their home. And of course, I accepted. I had a future to build, one far brighter without Jared weighing me down. My children and I would be just fine. A new chapter had begun. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.